What did you beat the feds on? What was the charge?
Manufacturing, delivering, conspiracy. We can stop this right now if she signs for 5 years. And I said, how did it go from 22 to 25?
You knew they had a
and
weak
then 9
case.
to 11. And I said, now she wants 5. I said, no, we're going all the way.
Hey, it's Kyle from Federal Prison Tips, and me and Jason are back again for another episode of 10 Toes. Jason, we got a great freaking guest tonight.
No, we do. I was just talking to her. It's going to get good.
It's like
different.
a string of great women.
Dude, our women
We've had
podcasts, I'm telling you,
They're
kill the
fire.
guys. Yeah, way better.
Well, we got a guest with us that I know as P, but what's your real name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, thank you for coming all the way from Texas,
Yeah, Amarillo at that.
the great state of Texas. And we brought you on here for for a lot of reasons. You got a great story, but the primary reason is because we wanted to talk to somebody who has beat the feds all the way. Now, I got to give props to Jason because Jason's beat the feds once but lost twice, so he's 1-1.
Yeah.
But you have actually beat the feds. Take us there. What did you beat the feds on? What was the charge?
It was manufacturing, delivering, and conspiracy.
Conspiracy, manufacturing, delivery. How'd you beat them?
Took him to trial.
And
Break the trial down. Tell us how it
Well,
went.
yeah, like what were they trying to say you did, and then where were they wrong? How talk to me.
It started all from the beginning. Even down to jury duty. I mean, not jury duty. I'm sorry. Take that out.
That's okay.
I get nervous and I know you're videoing.
Don't be nervous at all.
Can we, cut?
We're just talking.
Take it too?
We're just chilling.
Okay. Well, we went down to jury selection. So I found that interesting too because I was picking women around my age who I thought have dated somebody who they didn't know, or I just really looked at everyone and read them, and I think that played a big part of it too.
So,
But explain to people about how many people did they bring in from you get to pick from?
A lot. They brought in maybe 60 people.
60, and then you go through and screen every one of them. They walk through, they ask them all kinds of questions. They start over here, and you get to get all that stuff. Then your attorneys go back and go through it. Now, did your judge say, hey, we're going to start right here, and you're going to pick from here, or did you get to pick? How did your judge go about picking the jury? Break that down to me.
No, they just came in one by one. The judge didn't. It was just us and the prosecutor. They get I think 3 strikes, and then we had 3 strikes.
Yep. But they started, but you didn't get to say, I want them 6 girls that are in here, 6 females. That's not how it starts. They bring who in, and then they go, no, we don't want her, or we need to save our strikes for some other ones.
Yeah. So
wait,
wait, both of you guys, because I didn't go to trial. I pled. I was one single person indictment. Do you get to see the people like they're sitting in the gallery like they show in the movies, or are they coming through a door so you don't even know who's next?
I don't know how they did hers. I'm going to explain mine, then we'll let her explain hers. So they come in the courtroom. So they sit where the audience gets to sit.
In the gallery.
So,
okay.
yeah, in the gallery. So we get to sit at tables. And then the judge said, we're going to start over here, and this is juror number 1. And then we went through, and they stood up one by one, and we asked them questions. We'd have a list of questions. We'd ask them, like, oh, we see that you worked as a firefighter for so long, da-da-da-da. And then they ask them a bunch of questions. The prosecutor asks them. We take notes. Then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And once we get through it all, our attorneys get time to go back and screen and figure out and dive deep into their social media, whatever they can dive into. That's why I had the juror consultant. It costs for $50,000 for them to help go through and build almost like the FBI does on people.
Dossier on each person. That
Yes.
came through. What about you? Was that how it happened with you? It was all sat in the gallery?
It was pretty much the same thing, except for they would come up to the podium and
and that's where they did the things. So back it up a little bit. You're charged with the drug crime, and I take it this was like a boyfriend or a husband or something that did this?
A boyfriend, yes.
Did you know he was doing the dirt?
I didn't know.
What were you doing at the time? Like, what was your job?
I wasn't working. I had just recently put in my resignation.
For?
I was a police officer for 6 years before that.
A police officer for 6 years. The plot thickens.
It gets crazy.
So, did you go to college?
I did.
Is that what you studied? Did you study something that had to do like
criminal justice?
And you wanted to be a cop?
I did.
What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
I loved everything about it. I mean, it's not like a regular job where you like punch in and punch out. You go in if you want to be out in the field, then you be out in the field. If you want to be inside doing computer work, writing,
You can do that.
yeah.
What did you do mostly? And were you like an active beat cop, or what kind of cop were you?
It was for a community college.
Okay.
So I was mainly outside patrolling the like parking lots and the buildings and stuff like that. But we did have access to the city since we have jurisdiction wherever we have a campus. So pretty much the whole town.
Oh, the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
that makes sense. So what? So you say you put your resignation in. Why were you quitting?
I quit because I got in trouble.
You got in this trouble or other trouble?
I got in other trouble.
And what was that?
I ran someone's name without going through the correct protocol.
So like a friend or something?
It was a friend of a friend. He had asked me, a friend of mine had asked me to run his friend's name. Well, I was hesitant at first. He had asked me a few months before, and I would always like say, okay, the computer's down, or, I didn't. And I was like, why does he keep asking me? Because I know there's a place that you can go on the internet. You pay like $9.99 and you can check if you have an active warrant. So this last time the
I'd
computer
like
was
to know about that.
yeah.
So
one
you go in and look for this guy's warrant.
yeah, one day I was just sitting in the patrol car, just waiting to get out of work, and he had texted and said, "Hey, do you have time to run this guy's name?" And I was like, "Let's just do it real quick." Go on there, go on the MDT and run his name, and I was like, "Oh, he's got an active warrant." So I told him, "Yes, he's got an active warrant." I don't know if this is. I mean, I'm pretty sure the agents would have found out I did it, but I took a picture of my actual MDT with my cell phone and sent him the picture. So they looked at when the agents were looking to see who took the picture, they saw who it came from, and it was me. And they got me for misuse of information.
And that was a state charge in
That's
Texas.
a state charge.
You know what's crazy though, Kyle, is that back in my days, I was able to pay cops to look me up.
Yeah.
And they changed that law so that people like me can't pay cops no more to do it. Now they get in trouble.
Well, my brother's a really high-ranking dispatcher in Maryland, so I just always ask him to do mine.
But I don't think but the thing is Maryland might not be. Florida, they changed the law. Maryland might not be. And Florida changed it for that one reason, because towards the end of my deal, I asked the cop, I'm like, hey, when you run? He's like, dude, I ain't running your name. He says, because I know the feds are probably watching you. He says, when the feds see that I ran your name, they're going to call him and go, hey, why'd you run his name?
Yeah.
Like, did you pull him over? Did you do something? Like, you need to let us know. And if he says, no, I just ran it, he's like, I ain't getting caught up in that mess.
Yeah.
So when you run somebody's name, because this is like, I listen to the scanner sign, it's like 1028 or whatever they do on the walkie-talkie. When you run somebody's name, if it pops hot, then does it make like a record to tell your boss or something, Officer Stephanie, so how did they know?
The feds had a hold on him. So as soon as
so-
it runs a name, it automatically alerts the feds.
So he didn't have just a regular warrant out for his arrest. He had a federal hold, which is the feds were looking at him.
Oh, so the feds, when you pop that warrant, the feds know you popped it because they think they're going to come get you.
No. So I'm going to explain to you. So even when you're on federal probation, anytime that your name is a tag, say your tag on your vehicle gets run, right? Going down the road, it automatically, that deputy that runs it, your tag, say your tag gets ran just being in a parking lot or a cop pulls behind, just want to check you out. It automatically gets sent to your probation officer. Because
Well,
the
I know
federals
that
have one.
because when I was on probation the first time before I violated, my ex-wife was mad because me and my daughter were talking on the phone and she made up some bull crap. And my probation officer was like, did you have contact with the police? And I'm like, no, because I really didn't. But apparently my ex-wife had called the police on me, so they ran my name.
So same thing with her. When the feds have a hold or anything on you, anytime that name is ran in the local system, it automatically gets forwarded to the feds, and then they'll contact. Because what I told you, one of the guys that I had paid had told me, was like, hey, dude, like I ran somebody one time, they had a federal hold. And he's like, they called me, was like, where did you see him at? Well, he's like, nah, I just was running tags. I was just running a tag. And just to see, I was behind a vehicle. He made up a story. He said, I don't know if he's telling the truth, but he was like, they called me and was like, hey, where'd you see him? Why did you run this tag, this thing or whatever? And he's like, I was just at a red light and there was a tag in front of me. So I just ran the tag just to check it. Where at? What location? What was the thing? Da-da-da-da-da. Because I don't know if you ever seen it. They give you a form to fill out. If there's a federal hold on some of them, you have to fill out this form, like, where'd you see him at? Who was he with? Did you make contact with him? Did you ask him any questions? You had to fill out this whole thing on him.
Wow.
Because you had to have reason to run his name. I mean, was he
Was he speeding?
Stuff light, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the way this happened was, I think he found out about the federal hold, and I think he fled. So then when he was caught up, I think the feds, the agents had asked him, why did you run? And I think he said, okay, my friend told me that I had a federal hold, and that's why I left. And then they went to talk to the friend, and they said, hey, how did you know? Why did you tell him? And then the friend was like, oh, I got a female police officer. And then that's when because it was like, I want to say 6 to 8 months before the agents even came to talk to me.
What a dirtbag.
And were you fired instantly? Or placed
Not
on administrative leave?
Not even that. So I kind of knew, I didn't know what was happening since it had happened like 6 to 8 months ago. I didn't know they were looking for me. So like 2 weeks before that, my daughter, all of my daughter's cars and my car is under my name. So my daughter calls me and I'm at work at the policing. And she's like, hey, they just pulled me over. And she said, as soon as I rolled my window down, she said, Stephanie? And my daughter said, no, I'm her daughter. And she said, okay, well, you need to slow down because you're driving fast. She said, and she just let me go. And I was like, that's odd because you don't, pull someone over like that. So I started thinking, and I was like, what could they be looking for me for? Well, a couple of weeks passed, and they had called my chief, and they said, we need to talk to one of your officers or whatever. So we have one officer, and he's a goofy. Then I was like, it's probably him. He's always messing up.
Right.
So my chief calls, and he's like, hey, it's for you. So, and I was like, okay. I said, maybe they want to ask me about him. So I go into the little office, and they're asking me questions. Hey, do you know it's so-and-so and so-and-so? What's the guy I ran? Well, I don't know him. And I was like, no, I don't know that name. And they're like, are you sure? Are you related to him? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, do you know this guy, the friend? And I was like, oh, yeah, I know him. And they're like, did you tell him that his friend had a warrant? And I was like, yeah, because I didn't think I did anything wrong,
Right.
So, yeah, I'm telling on myself. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, then we need to book you in or whatever. So I go to my chief.
I've been like, you need to book me what?
Yeah. So he's like, we'll let you get your stuff in order, get a lawyer or whatever. And then they're telling me when they're going to do everything. So I call a lawyer or whatever, and my chief is cool. He's like, just keep working, save your money, to pay the lawyer. So I'm keeping working. So they come back like 2 weeks later. I find an attorney or whatever. And so they came back while I'm at work, and they're like, okay, you need to get out of your uniform. So I while at work, take off my uniform, everything, and put it in a bag. And I told my chief, I said, well, I guess I'm going. But they didn't want to lock me up in the same jail where I'm arresting people. So they put me in a special little room, and they're like, well, people might know you, what they do to police officers. So I stay in there booking. They booked me in, and then I was released.
That's crazy.
Until my court date, and then I was put on probation for 4 years deferred.
So no jail time on that.
No jail time.
So then you're with dude, your boyfriend, and
I met a guy about a year, maybe a year or two later.
So hold on, before we go any further. So did you take a plea? Did they offer you a plea, or did you fight it at all, or?
The misuse of information?
Yeah.
No, she was dead to
I
rights.
just took the deferred.
Oh, that's what you
The
did?
4 years.
She was dead to rights.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if they offered you, whatever, and you fought it some at all.
Supposedly that was my best option. I mean, I didn't look into it or whatever.
Okay.
So you meet a guy.
I meet a guy about a year or two later, and that was even more trouble.
You fall in love with a dude, and you don't realize he's slinging dope.
He's in the game, yeah.
Okay.
How'd you meet him?
I met him through a mutual friend.
So what attracted you to him?
So your mutual friend's like, hey, drug dealer, you want to meet Stephanie? Stephanie the cop?
No.
Yeah. I can only imagine how that conversation went.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
she used to be a cop. You
we
might
just-
want to get her on
Through
the...
our mutual friend, we had gone out to a little bar. So he invited the guy, and then invited me, and then we just started talking, and we just hit it off.
Okay, and so he's in the game, and then what? You guys get pulled over together, or?
I had just started dating him at the beginning of the month in February, and this was like in 22. And then in the middle of February, he said, "Hey, go with me to Dallas," and his uncle was sick. He said, "Go with me to meet my family," or whatever. Well, I just met him, and I was like, "Okay, I'll meet your family." Well, we weren't only doing that. He was driving.
Driving, and did you guys get pulled over in
We
the
got
drugs from
pulled
the
over
car?
coming back from Dallas.
Was it suspicious pullover, or did we all speeding? Like, what was the reason?
This is the messed up part. So the officer pulls over. No, we were putting gas at a gas station. Well, the officer, I can see him over there off, just staring at us. Well, my boyfriend was black, and we're driving my brand new Camaro, nice car. He's driving my car, pumping gas. I'm in the passenger seat. Oh, I see that officer. Keep looking. And I rolled down my window. I said, "That cop's going to pull you over because he just keeps looking." I said, "It's because you're black. I know." I said, you profile all the time. Please, they tell you not to profile, but you profile all the time. Well, he keeps looking, and I don't think he sees me in the car.
Yeah, but when you say profile, tell us how he was dressed
Racial
and everything
profile.
else. I know that, but I'm saying, was it racial or was he dressed like a drug dealer?
No, he was just
He was
dressed
dressed normal.
in sweatpants.
Okay. No, I didn't know when you say profile if it was race or if it was mainly because he was dressed like his.
I mean, did he have pants sagging down, 15
had
gold necklaces?
He
Yeah.
just had a hoodie
Gold
on
teeth.
and sweatpants.
Okay. Because the reason why I say is because when I see someone rolling around 26s and it's like, I'm like, dope
So
boy.
you had already
No.
dropped the stuff off. That meant you had a bunch of money in the car,
No, they had the dope.
or you had
No,
the dope.
he had drugs in the trunk.
You had the dope
Well,
in the
he
car.
had,
at the time.
I think he had 18 grand on him at the time too.
Okay, so you guys get pulled over. They search the car.
Well,
Well,
let
hold
me
on.
back up a little
Yeah.
bit. So we're putting gas at the gas station. He didn't run our tags. We weren't driving where we could have missed a stop sign. We weren't speeding because we were parked. Well, as soon as we pull out of the gas station, he just comes right behind us and pulled us over. And I said, "There's no probable cause. There's no reasonable suspicion. There's nothing for him to pull us over. I mean, absolutely nothing except for you being black." So we pulled into another gas station just to get out the way because it was icy on the road and we were just on a bridge. So we make it cut across to another gas station. And so when he pulled us over, the first thing he asked is, "Why did you go to 2 gas stations?" And I was like, "When? We just came to putting gas and we came over here to get out of the way so you can pull us over for whatever you're pulling us over." So he said that we were suspicious for going to 2 gas stations.
Yeah, but he put the lights on you before you pulled
did.
anything.
He did.
So this is the question I ask you because, I see all the red flags here, Kyle. Do you see the red flags? I don't think you were pulled over.
I don't think you were pulled over either. I think they was watching him.
They were watching them. So when you went to go pick up this stuff, did you just go to one house and y'all left, or did you actually see family and hang out?
I was seeing his family in the inside. He was outside the whole time. I don't know if he left. I don't know. I'm in there with his aunts, his uncles, cousins. I don't know if he left. I don't know if he...
No. The reason I'm asking is that you actually went to the families. What I'm getting at. Okay. So the one thing that I explained, like in my TikToks and in my case and stuff like that, in your law enforcement, so I'm going to ask you this question, is that a lot of people don't understand, like when I used to drug smuggle, they would intercept me. And all they would do is just check me, just act normal as can be. But I knew that they had a tracking device on my boat and that they were watching me because I already had inside, people on the inside telling me they were watching me. So 9 times out of 10, when he was sitting there watching you, most likely he was already put on you. He was watching. See, when I was making a drug run one time, we got pulled over. We did a dry run because I got tipped that they were watching, and they did the same thing.
But the thing is, I don't know why they would be watching us. I'm confused. So I'm over here as a police officer. I know I was like, why is he watching us? He's racial profiling you. You're in this Camaro and the way you're dressed. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking...
I would thought you'd be more like pulling the detective out going, racial profiling, but this doesn't seem right.
Yeah, that's what's going
Like
on in my head.
because you said he got out of prison, right?
I didn't know he had just
Oh,
gotten
you
out.
didn't know he got
No.
out of prison.
He had just gotten out that September before.
So
Did you know what he did for work? Did he tell you?
He's
he
working
sold
for,
drugs. Duh.
I know that, but what did he
He
tell
was-
her?
working for an insurance company with his brother.
Okay.
So he was doing leads. You know, he had to go talk to people and
Oh, he was talking to people, right?
yeah, talking to people trying to get them to sign up to get the insurance.
Yeah, he was hustling on that dope. That's funny. A black dude with meth. I never met a black dude because meth is usually white boys in the feds, right? So Arkansas, I did time with this black dude, and I was like, "What are you in here for?" And he'd been locked up since '08, and he's like, "Oh, meth." And I'm like, "Black dude with meth?" I'm like, "What?"
Right?
Like you just don't see it. You don't see black dudes in the meth. It's usually Mexicans and white boys in the meth game. Very rarely, but they say in Texas it's different
So-
out there.
They take you to jail.
Well, how
Yes,
did-
they did.
Well, how did they get in the vehicle? So what made them search? First, before we get there.
Yeah, where's the probable cause for the
Yeah.
search?
The search was, we were acting suspicious. That's what he said.
Because you got gas.
No, in the car he said that we were like fidgety and doing stuff. Well, I just reached in my purse, put out my driver's license and my insurance, and I reached over and I said, "Here's my, my insurance and information."
Sounds suspicious to me.
But then he ran his name, and what was suspicious to him is his criminal background,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that's where he.
I mean,
decided
that's
to
not a-
search. That's not a reason to search your vehicle either. But
So
He
So
does.
did you guys? You obviously wouldn't have consented to the search.
no, I didn't.
did they run dog or did they?
They can't. They called the canine.
Canine barked.
The canine sat, but to me, we're in a truck stop, a big truck stop. That dog's going crazy, chasing the trucks, running off, and I was like, no, the dog's not alerting. He's just, and then the dog started scratching at the driver's side door, where they found no drugs. All the drugs were in the trunk, and they said he alerted on the driver's side door.
So I did a TikTok video because people are like, "How would you know if my phone's tapped?" I said, "Let me explain how this works." A lot of times, through some of my sources in law enforcement, told me that what they would do, you only need a warrant to use evidence in court. Is that
you
right?
You don't need the.
You don't need a
warrant.
warrant to tap somebody's phone. You only need a warrant to use it in court. Things have changed now, but back then, they would listen to your phone conversations. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, all you got to do is get on your phone and be like, "Hey, buddy, meet me at Walmart at 1 o'clock. I got what you want."
Oh, yeah.
And then act like you give them something or whatever because they're going to be watching. They're going to be like, "Hey, dude, something's going down." And then they're just going to put a deputy in behind you and you change lanes or do something stupid. They're going to pull you over, put the dog on a hit, and then they don't need the phone call no more. They don't need now they don't need it because they got it illegally, so they don't have to use it. You didn't turn lanes with a turning signal or whatever you did, act suspicious. They pull you over. They run a dog sits. They find the dope. Wow, they got you. Cops to me hear my thing. They're like, "That's not how it works." And I'm like, well, it probably didn't work where you were working at, and you probably never heard of it. But my guys told me this because I had corrupted cops. My cops were corrupted. I mean, they took money from me. I mean, FBI's been to me twice, want me to turn on them, and I wouldn't do it. So when they took you in, what was your thought when they found all that dope?
I was scared because my plan was to go back into law enforcement after my deferred probation, and I'm thinking like, what am I gonna do because I have this charge? What's gonna happen? I'm going to prison.
So you decide that I'm going to trial. Fuck this.
Not yet. They booked us into jail that night. We got bonded out for like $8,500 a piece. Well, that was suspicious in itself too because after getting pulled over, taking 18 grand from him, and then coming up with another
17
to get us both out. So we get out, and we hear around that the state had dropped the charges, and I thought, okay, I'm good, because the police officer kind of budged up the stop. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. Well, I think it was in Tarrant County, they had called my city police, and they're like, "Hey, you want to pick this charge up?" And the feds picked it up.
Yeah, they didn't call. That's not how it goes. The feds were like, "We're going to pick this up," and the state was like, "We'll drop it." That's
Well,
how it usually works, don't it,
Well,
Kyle?
they didn't know
Yeah.
about it because they would have known about my deferred. I was still on deferred
Well,
probation. They
the
would've-
local cops didn't know. Your cops were in the feds. The feds already knew. You got
Okay.
federally indicted.
Yes.
So you worked for local cops.
Mhm.
So the only way state drops anything is when the feds come in. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do because they're like, "Listen, the feds are going to take over. We're going to lose jurisdiction on this. Let them have it." Because how much dope was there?
8 kilograms.
8 kilos.
8 kilos. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
So you go to trial.
Go to trial after a year, and
Did he go to trial too, or he plea out?
he went to trial too.
Did you have paid attorneys?
Did he lose or did he win
No,
also?
these are
Public
federal
offenders?
Yes.
Did he win also?
No, he got 2 life sentences.
2 life sentences.
Yeah. 2 life.
Holy
She
shit.
said he'd been to prison 3 times. Or that was his 2 times prior.
Yeah.
So he got scored out.
Did you tell on him?
No.
No. She's gangster.
You're a gangster.
No.
I appreciate
Did you see how
that.
timid she is in here right now? She was a cop. Now tell us about what you think about law enforcement.
Now
Yeah.
I lost all respect for them.
Tell us why.
So let me ask you a question, Steph. This is something like you wanted to do this since you were a child. Like
Since I was
little
9 years
girls
old.
want to be vets and doctors, and you wanted to be the police.
Yeah.
And you got to be the police. Then you got into a little bit of trouble, and now fuck the police.
Yes.
Well, we talked about this, and it gets really good. It gets really good. Before we get there, I want to ask one question. What was it like, and what did it feel like going through trial?
Scary.
How long was it?
The actual trial, or
Yes.
The lead up and everything. I would say from the day you guys got pulled over to the day you were found not guilty.
the 2 years?
Two-
No, longer than that.
You were fighting it for over 2 years?
I was in a federal hold in a county jail for a year and almost a year. and a
You
half.
were on federal hold for you didn't even bond out on the feds?
They wouldn't let me bond out. There was no, what is it, a PR bond? No, I didn't have a PR bond.
So
The
when you
judge-
went to trial, how long was your trial?
The trial was about, I want to say like 5 days long with jury selection and everything. 5
Days, that's it. Mine was a month.
It was quick.
So you were in the federal hold for a year
And a half.
and a half leading up to this trial. Damn.
No, this is where it gets really good. Think about this. So when they said that closing arguments came, how long did it take the jury to come back?
Not that long.
Same day?
Same day. Within,
Because nobody knows how this feels. How much time were you looking at? Did they give you a plea deal?
okay, when you first go in there, you go to arraignment and everything. So my attorney was begging me to plea, and she said, "You're facing 22 to 25." She said, "You take this right now," and I was like, "No." I said, "My kids are my everything." No. So I denied it. So from 22 to 25, it went down to 9 to 11.
22 to 25 years she wanted you to plea for?
Yes, when I first got to county.
What? First time, never been in trouble. She wanted you to plea for that much time.
Is this the same lawyer that took you to trial?
Yes, I actually filed her, and I represented myself at the end. But she still has to be there,
Yeah, to coach you.
Yes. But yeah,
So you went pro se at the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
This gets crazier by the minute.
That's
She's more
crazy.
gangster than I am.
Right, I know.
God.
You had Brian Steele. She had Stephanie Saldana. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Stephanie is available for your criminal defense.
Yes.
Have you thought about that? Have you thought about studying law? I mean,
I want to do my certified paralegal. I'm looking at classes right now.
I'm a certified paralegal and take but a year.
Yeah.
I can tell you all the answers.
Explain to people what the feeling is when that judge comes back and says they got a verdict.
Were you scared?
I was excited. I had a good
What?
Yes, because this is where. So before all this happens, so the DA comes and talks to my, what is she called? 'Cause
She's
not
your
my-
attorney still.
Okay.
Your guidance
Your assistant.
assistant is what they call it. Your legal assistant
Okay.
is what they're going to call them.
So they come and talk to her, and they said, "Okay, we can stop this right now if she signs for 5 years." And I said, "How did it go from 22 to 25,
You knew they had a
and
weak
then 9
case.
to 11?" And I said, "Now she wants 5." I said, "No, we're going the other way."
You knew right then and there. You want me to tell you how I knew I won my first Fed case? So it was a month-long trial. They deliberated for 3 days. Whenever they said they had a verdict, we all had to go back in because I got bond. So we were going back in. One of the jurors turned around and looked at my attorney and nodded and like winked at her and smiled. And my attorney, Brooks, just started crying and holding me. And I couldn't hear nothing. Like I literally had to, because I was looking at life, L-I-F-E. I had a shit. I felt like I had.
For those of you that don't know how to spell it,
Dude, it was
He always
crazy.
says that.
It's like, well, a lot of people are like, no, 25 to life. I'm like, no, L-I-F-E. There's no numbers, all letters. In feds, that's life is life.
right?
And everybody else is like, well, no, you mean 25 to life because Florida, the place got 25 to life. I'm like, no, it's life. So I walked in there, I felt like I had concrete. The further, closer I got to the table, I couldn't walk. I couldn't even feel nothing. I couldn't see nothing. And when they read that verdict, the only reason why I knew, because she's telling me, like, she just winked at me, I think you're good. That tells me you're good, that they got you not guilty. Because the verdict turned around. I mean, she looked right at my attorney, she said, and smiled and winked at her. And she just started crying and holding me. I'm thinking, like, why is she crying? Like, it just threw me even more of a loop. It was crazy. But you're
So
sitting there
when you
smiling.
win, do you get to like go home right then?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
over with.
right
Did you
then
go
and
home right then, or did you have to like check out of the
I
prison? Or
had to go to county jail for another day, and they released me the next day.
What? Another day?
another day? I'd have been like, bitches, I am not guilty.
See, I had bonds. So the
I'd have
judge
been-
was
I
like,
had ordered some food. And
I had to wait for the judge to sign off. And
sign
all
off
that
the
paperwork.
ruling. Yeah. That's crazy why they didn't do it right then and there.
Yeah.
Tell me what that feeling felt like.
Felt good. My kids were at the hearing, and my attorney took them out to the hallway, and she told them, "Hey, you need to convince your mom to do these 5 years, because they offered her 22 to 25, and they got it down to 5. Please tell your mom, because they wanted this plea. Their conviction rate is very high." So they're telling my daughters, please, please. So they come back in. They're like, "Mom, please take it. Please take it. We'll be there for you. We'll help you." And I'm thinking, no. But, I'm not going to tell the attorney, because she's in cahoots with the DA and the judge and everybody. And I'm like,
You
no.
learned that, didn't you?
So I'm just, yeah. So I'm sitting there crying, and I'm looking at my girls, because I want to tell them so bad I'm going to win. But I can't, because I don't want them knowing what I know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I have a really good feeling.
so what is it that you knew? How did you know you were going to win? You
Because how do they go down from 20-something
Okay.
years to 5 years?
And they beg you. So hold on now.
Where did you slice the? Okay, go ahead.
No, think about this. When did they offer you this 5? During trial.
Yeah.
During trial. So you got to remember, she's fighting. So did you start day one pro se? Did you start day
No,
one pro se?
no.
You started with attorney. When did you go pro se?
When they were when she wouldn't go down on my time, she went from 22 to 25, and then 9 to 11, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do this myself. You don't, and help me. You don't want to help me win. You don't
So
wanna
the
help me
judge
fight.
allow you to go pro se in the middle of a
Yes,
trial?
since I fired my attorney, I had to go to court and say why I didn't want her as an attorney.
So the rule of thumb is you went back to the jail every night, right?
I did.
You were probably talking to people, and you told people that you
I
weren't
didn't
talking to
tell
nobody.
anybody. Everybody thought I was like
Crazy.
what is that show called that they
60 days.
60 days
yeah,
in?
they thought I was part of that, because I wouldn't tell anybody. I lied of where I was from. I told them I didn't have any kids. They're like, in jail, it's like you have no life, so you're in everybody else's. They want to know, and the more quiet you are, the more suspicious they are of you. So I'm with these girls a long time, because I'm in there a year and a half. So I'm seeing them go and come, go and come. And so I'm telling everybody different, the same story, but I'm telling different people, And they're like, who do you talk to every day? And I'm talking to my mom. My mom's been passed away, already 2 years. So I'm just lying to
Well,
them.
you're gangster.
Yeah, because I don't want nobody. People start looking me up, and they're like, "What's your last name? How do you spell your last name?" And I make up a last name, but they call you by your first name. Some guards call you by your first name, and some call you by your last. Well, these girls are taking notes. Or who is this girl?
Were you doing this because you were worried that you'd find out you were a cop, or you just didn't want them to jump on your case?
I just didn't want them in my business. I try to.
That's a great advice. So this is what I want to know. Like, how'd you slice the case up? Like, where was the U.S. attorney fucking off?
What do you mean?
Like,
Where
I
did you
mean,
capitalize on proving them wrong, and how did you think you
how'd
won
you
the
win
jury?
this thing?
Yeah, how'd you think?
I mean,
you won
obviously they came back. They lowered it from 11 to 5, but there's something you did made them do that.
Whenever they they give you your discovery, it's like this big. So whenever I fired her, they gave me my full discovery, which is like this big, the whole everything. I don't even want to look at it. So I'm just flipping through there, and I don't see my name in anything. And I was like, what are they getting me for? Just dating him? That's all they were getting me on, is dating him. They took my phone. They took talking to people, no, they have nothing on me. So then I was like, what are they even taking me to trial? Why didn't I get this PR bond? I'm like, why? My name is nowhere to be in nothing. Nobody knew they took another guy. I don't know who this guy is. They took who was on his case. I guess it was a co-defendant on his, but not on mine. They took him out of that same county jail and told him, if you can tell us where she lives, then, we know you've been there, and her house is a trap house. He couldn't find my house. My attorney came and told me, he said they took him out of the jail and he didn't know where you lived. And I was like, yeah, because he's never been there. I don't even know who this guy is. So I'm seeing that they don't have anything. I'm looking through my paperwork. My name is nowhere. I said, all they can get me is for dating this guy, you know. And I was like, they have nothing. What can they say?
So when you're fighting the case, you're sitting at the table with him, right? So you're
Yeah.
both fighting at the same time.
Mhm.
Did you object to anything, or did you question anybody that was on the stand that they used against him, or you just sat back and just was like, I'm going to stay quiet because my name never gets mentioned?
No, he buried himself. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so you're in trial.
Yeah.
And you're sitting at the table. Did you object to anything? Did you question any of the witnesses? Do you do anything?
No.
You just sat back quiet the whole time like, well, when my name gets brought up, I think I'll fight it then?
Yeah.
And you just stay quiet the whole time?
Pretty much.
Did they put any witnesses on the stand about you?
No.
They didn't have shit.
Well, they did the same thing in Florida. That's how we won. Brooke just sat back and been quiet. And then when my name did get brought up, she just tore them apart, and it was very little. And that's the thing about
So
it.
was most of the trial about him?
Yeah, basically.
They-
All they had me was on that initial stop when we got caught with that 8 kilos, and they could not connect me to that.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
ain't nobody putting nothing in my trunk. I'm like, fuck that. What's in that? I need to see what's in that
The
bag
bag.
before we get in that car.
Yeah. The thing going back seat.
Who's this dude? I mean, down here, you know, look, I got some shady looking guys coming in here. I'm like, hey, you know this guy?
Man, so let's get back on the subject because we talked about this beforehand. Tell us how you viewed law enforcement working with them versus what you see them now, and why.
I looked up to law enforcement, you know. And this is something I wanted to always be. I wanted to move up in rank. It's a really good job, you know, and the chief I worked for was like pro-family. So if I had to go to a daughter's basketball game or something, then I would get that day off. You know, I had a lot of perks. Just
Because, I mean, you got arrested by them and then you wanted to go back to work for them.
I did.
So when did your view of them change and why?
It didn't change over the looking the dude up. It changed over this drug thing, right?
Well, it changed over the misuse of information when I put in my
Resignation.
my resignation for that, because when they were asking me what is everybody else doing, you know, and I'm like, I did this one little thing. I thought it was a little thing. I said I checked somebody's name and I thought I was helping them, saying, hey, you got this warrant, go take care of it, you know. And then they asked me, okay, what is everybody else doing in the department? And I was like, I could take this right now. I could take this whole department down. I could, even my chief, I could say what everybody's doing here. And I was like, and they want to take my job from me because of this. You know, I thought I was great at my job. I went to work every day. I even picked up extra shifts because I loved my job so much. And they want to get me for this little thing. And I was like, I could say what everyone's doing, but, you know, I'm not going to do that.
Do you have a feeling that other cops do that? They just like look their friends
Every
up.
cop does that. Every cop does even worse. So I don't know if I should say this, but my chief was working for the city. And time again, they told him, hey, you need to resign and go somewhere else or we're going to fire you. He was sleeping with his, CI.
Oh, wow.
I mean, a lot of corruption goes on.
A lot of corruption goes
you
on.
know,
Even worse than that, I mean, this is just the basic little things. But a lot of, you know, people, you have
None of
money.
the people came to your bat. Nobody helped you out.
No.
And that's the whole thing about it.
Yes.
And it's just like a slap in the face.
Yep. You know, yes, because you go to I put my all into this job. You know, you go to the police academy. I was there for 6 years, and I was going to school to further my education to stay in law enforcement.
You know, here's my thing is, so, I mean, you agree with me probably. We need law enforcement in America, right?
Oh, yeah.
We have to have it,
Okay.
okay? And we agree that there's some bad apples. They're human just like us. But it's not until you get on the other side of the law till you realize how they look at you, how they judge you, and how they treat you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't care what you got to say.
No.
You're automatically guilty. And you didn't see that until you went on the other side, right?
Oh yes.
And I've been told that by a lot of cops. Now, when you went to prison, I mean, not prison, but when you were sitting in that federal holdover, how did they treat you?
Just like another inmate.
Like you're just a criminal scumbag. They didn't care. Even though you were found not guilty, they didn't go, oh, man, we apologize that we treated you like a criminal the whole time.
Actually, a couple of guards did. I was well liked by most of the guards because I kept to myself. I wasn't a troublemaker. I was well liked by guards, and a lot of them came and told me that at the very end, when it was my time for my release, they came and told me, I knew you were innocent. You don't fit here. You don't.
Well, they knew you were law enforcement probably too. A lot of them did.
I don't know.
They were probably informed. They looked you up and seen that you were a cop.
But you can tell who's in the game in there, and who's using drugs, and who. They just came to me and said, you don't fit with this crowd.
So now what's next? I mean, like, what do you want to do next? What do you do now?
I think I've been shunned because I put in so many job applications from being a police officer and going and beating the feds. I cannot find a job for the life of me. Like I've applied.
But that's not on your record though.
It's not on my record, but Amarillo is a small town.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody, and the jobs. I have a bachelor's degree, so my name's going floating around through all these people. I'm not applying for like McDonald's or Burger King. I'm applying for what I think I'm worth, and no, nothing.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is. And that's a sad reality to all this stuff. And, I don't have that problem with work because, I feel like men, if you work with your hands in construction or a trade or something like that, we don't have those issues. But I feel bad for women because all yours is behind the desk and professional type stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be a cop.
Huh?
Unless you want to be a cop.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about it is, this is what's wrong with why people go back to prisons. I looked at everybody like, oh, he must be a scumbag. That's why he keeps going back. And I looked down at all of them. I'm not going to lie. And I was a criminal. And I'm still like, what's wrong with this idiot? And I finally got to do time with some of these guys. And I'm like, dude, this dude is a really good guy. I'm like, man, good luck. I know you're going to kill it. 6 months later, he's back in. I'm like, Keith, what happened, dude? And he's like, bro, man, I couldn't make it out there. I tried everything I could. Nobody with my criminal past, this and that. I couldn't make it. Everybody's looking at me. I did everything I could. He goes, I was going to come back because I couldn't make it. So I just, peddled a little bit of stuff just to try to make ends meet, just to get a little money in my pocket. And he goes, and I got busted. And I'm like, what? And at first I'm like, man, they're lying or whatever. And then I seen the next person, then the next person. And I was just like, this is pretty crazy because I know that time, that year and a half you were in that jail, you seen that.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people come and leave, get bonded out, or finish their time. Next thing you know, they're back in there. Same thing.
And it's a sad deal because I don't care what anybody says. Your history should be wiped after you get done doing your time.
I think so.
It should be wiped. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody should be able to look it up. Maybe the judge probably get to see it, but I don't think nobody else should. It should be gone. Because think about it. You got how many kids?
2.
And they rely on you.
Yeah.
And they're making it hard for something that is actually a nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You look somebody up, you get charged for something else, you beat it, and then look at you. You're struggling. And it's sad. And
especially living in a small town,
yeah. Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
It's funny thing about it is they it's all fun and games till they get hit, and then they're like, oh man, this ain't cool no more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have people come up and tell you that.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I have it to me all the time. Well, Kyle, you got anything else?
No, I just think this is great.
Dude, it's a wild story.
This is a great story.
It is.
I hope that I hope you can get something, I know one of the things that you want to try and do, so hopefully we can help you do that.
I will tell you this. I'm going to give you some advice. It might not work for you. The more you own it and the more you put it out there, the better it helps you.
Well, I was kind of iffy about coming on this, but I know I want it out there so people can,
Move on.
Well, I want them to take the feds to trial. I mean, don't just sign a plea. I mean, look at.
And that's a good point because there are so many women
they scare
in
you.
this exact same position.
Well, men use women for decoys.
For this.
Yeah.
Yes. No, they do.
And I think because of my background too, me being a police officer, and he was probably thinking, okay, they won't look at her because she was in law enforcement. Yep. So, it all came together at the end.
Well, here's another thing that you know, you coming on here and telling your story, it's going to start swirling around your town. Okay.
That's what I didn't want. That's why
No,
I
hold
was
on.
iffy about
But I get it. But I'm telling you, it usually works. You want your story out there. And the reason why is because everybody's talking and you want it told by you.
Yeah.
And it's hard for you to get it out when everybody's hearing it from, like the chain thing. I whisper in his ear to tell you, it comes back. After 3 or 4 people, it doesn't come back what I told him.
Yeah.
So by you doing this and then people in your town seeing it, it's going to start flooding around. You know what I'm saying? It's float to the next person. They're going to get to hear it from you. They're going to get to see it out of your mouth, how you say it. And I guarantee it's going to squash a lot of stuff, and people are going to see how sincere you are about it and what you've been through. And people are going to be like, I got a job for her. I'm telling you. People are going to do the right thing. I promise you. You'd be surprised. And Kyle, I think Kyle vouched to this. The more you tell your story and you put it out there, the more people are intrigued by it and it gets out there. People like to gossip about people that are quiet. I tell people all the time, you want to stop the gossiping? Open up the floodgates.
I've learned that in county jail.
Just open it up. Once you tell everybody, guess what? They leave you alone. They go to the next person. So the thing is I feel like you coming on, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I would want people to know your story because it's very interesting, crazy, and I feel like you've gotten a pretty bad end of the deal.
Oh yeah.
And you're a very sweet person.
I try to be.
No, you seem it.
Get the whole family out here too.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
They just wanted to make sure I was safe. They're like, we need to meet these guys.
I know they're like, yep, she's good. We're bouncing.
Yeah, I can
You
see.
told her you knew. I mean, thank you for being a big supporter
Oh no,
of what I do.
they see me watching you all the time, and they're like, "You're watching him again. You need to go over there." And I was like, "I know," but they're like, "Who else is gonna be there? You're gonna be alone with 3 guys." And I was like, "Come on, you can get out and meet
there's
these
a
guys."
whole crew here downstairs. And everything.
Yeah, it's.
So just thank you so much for coming all the way up here, Stephanie. It was great.
It was really great.
Thank you for
I hope things turn around for you. I hope it gets out in the right way, because how timid you are on here, how sweet you are. I don't know how anybody cannot want to give you a job.
There you have it, the first true crime podcast with a woman who has beat the feds pro se.
She's gangster.
She is gangster. You're gangster. Thank you very much. Find out more at 10toastpodcast.com. I'm Kyle. You can follow me at Federal Prison Tips.
Jason with 8 up.
8 up J. 8 up J. We'll see you next time at 10toastpodcast.com.